Now, the next story is one of exploitation and preying on unsuspecting Kenyans. The buy now, pay later, also known as BNPLs, have swamped the Kenyan lending market, wooing thousands of desperate borrowers only to leave them in a worse situation than they found them in. On the Money tonight, we reveal to you the relationship between BNPLs and borrowers with a focus on Mogo Kenya and their border riders clientele.
Go ahead.
This is the man who brought this issue to our attention and even tabled a petition in the National Assembly. The legislator for Kigoma constituency, who also sits in the Finance and National Planning Committee of the National Assembly.
There's a guy who lost a bike in my constituency and he was unable to pay, I think, only 10,000. He had paid over 250,000 and it was taken back. And that's when we started questioning this model. How does this happen?
You may ask yourself, how does one get here? Do they not read the terms and conditions? Do they not do their due diligence?
Discussion about
Kenan Yango, the national chair of the United Border Association, takes us through the journey.
We used to entirely very much depend on the banks, but unfortunately, there were so many juggles in between before you secure a facility from the bank. There were so many hurdles, barriers, but along the way, let me just say, like 5 or 7 years back, we've had the multinationals that have come here.
Our young men and women are desperate, so they're just looking at a business.
Many of the boda don't come with their lawyers really to read those conditions. So they find it very hard to read conditions that are written in very small handwritings, and so many you finish one page, the other page, and the other page. So before you understand what is there, you don't know. Say, well, just show me where I should sign, then I go with the bike.
Only to discover that the conditions are extremely lopsided.
When you talk of due diligence, I mean, in this country, things are difficult, okay? If you go to the bank and they ask you for a collateral, like a title deed, and you don't have. But there's another one here who is only asking you to raise 20,000 deposit, then come and give you a bike. Which one will you go to?
To shed some light on BNPLs, there are more than 16 asset finance firms offering buy now, pay later services, with some of the key ones being, just to mention but a few, M-Corpa, Lipa Later, Aspira, Loop BNPL, Lipa Mosmos, Watu, and Mogo. As at the beginning of 2024, the Central Bank of Kenya CBK had received over 500 complaints from customers or consumers across various digital lender providers, which include BNPL services. Mogo joined the Kenyan market in February 2019 with numerous public complaints that led to their recent fine from the regulator, Competitions Authority of Kenya, asking them to pay 11 million shillings and 340,000 shillings to 3 customers for misleading loan payment terms. The Nation Media Group Business Hub caught up with one of their clients or former clients, Jacqueline Ondo, who has been in the industry for a total of 11 years, riding border. She took a loan with Mogo in the year 2021 with hopes that she would finally own her own motorbike. Or so she thought.
Nilienda kwa kampuni ya Mogo, nikalipa deposit ya 10,000 kwa sababu walituambia wako na offer kwa ladies. Kwa hivyo tunalipa tu 10, tunapewa bike. Nikalipa 10, nikachukua bike 2021 mwezi wa 5. Nikalipa mpaka 2022 mwezi wa 7. Nikaibiwa tarehe 6 mwezi wa 7 2022.
So these are the issues it is alleged the BNPLs are being accused of.
One of the biggest challenges we had was insurance, because there are very many cases, and you know, you can talk to the border guys, very many cases of when you are just about to complete payment for that motorbike, it's stolen. Once it's stolen, a motorbike with a tracker cannot be tracked, and then you have to start afresh. That motorbike is insured. So who gets the compensation? Not the owner of the bike, the person who sold the bike. And there were incidences where people had their motorbike stolen, and then you find it's been sold to somebody else by the same companies.
The most important thing that we're supposed to address here is the condition. You give the bike to a Kenyan, like the case for Mogo. You give a bike to someone, a rider, in a particular stage, with the condition of paying in Kenyan shilling, but at the end of the day, you charge them back the repayment in dollars. So you find that a bike that is, the cost of the bike is around 150,000, 170,000, 200,000 max. The bike, by the time the rider finish up paying for the bike, is more than double.
Jacqueline had to start from scratch again, borrowing a bike to make a living. After paying a total of 100,000 shillings out of the total 164,000 in completion that was to be made to fully own her business and even expand. At the point of any robbery, one would feel some calm with the remembrance of having insurance. But
Mimi waliniambia pikipiki ikibiwa, insurance inasimamia. Hiyo ndio kitu aliniambia. Sasa wakati ilibiwa, mimi nilienda kwa police station, ilikuwa ni police post, kwa maji police post, nikaripoti. Kesho yake nikakimbia kwa ofisi kuuliza feedback.
Even after providing the relevant documents 2 years down the line, Jacqueline has not gotten help. With all that has been said and done, borrowers are appalled about how these firms are still in business. Regulator CAK's decision and position regarding misleading representation and unconscionable conduct by Mogo Auto Limited, and I quote, "Upon analyzing and evidentiary information from the complainants and the accused party, the authority concluded that Mogo had violated the Act, specifically clauses prohibiting false or misleading representations and engaging in unconscionable conduct during issuance and administration of loan products to the complainants." End of quote. But here's the catch-22.
They're doing no wrong, but there is a gap in law. And that's what needs to be filled. And that gap can only be filled by Parliament, because Parliament is the one that comes up with laws.
Well, according to Mogo, their first response was their pride in their focus since coming into Kenya has been to allow each of their customers to experience the pride and enjoyment of asset ownership, having financed over 120,000 customers to acquire assets, majority of whom engage in small and medium enterprises. On the claimed mistreatment, they commented, and I quote, "The loan balance may increase for various reasons, including accrued interest, late payment fees, loan top-ups, and amendments to the loan agreement. Customers are fully informed about the repayment schedule and the terms and conditions of the contract prior to signing. Whenever changes that could affect the loan balance are proposed, all customers are consulted and must provide their approval." End of quote. It's essential to remember where we started from. Most borrowers come from a place of desperation.
For these multinationals, the government needs also to rein on them, so that they can follow the laid out rules and regulations.
Lenders are governed by the Central Bank Act that creates protection to the borrower by having caps on the interest rates, thus prohibiting exploitation. Nina Shaban, NTV.